Hello there, my name is Optimus Prime, and welcome to the first episode of Primetime TV's new monthly news roundup, which we haven't quite thought of a name of yet, but we'll get to that. I'm joined, as usual, by my co-host, the indomitable Moff, and welcome to the new show. Please, if you do enjoy our content, feel free to pop in a like or subscribe, and let's get down to business. Hi, Moff.
Hi, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a fun old week, but yeah, doing all right.
Good. Can't believe we're nearly at the end of February. It seems a bit mad.
It's absolutely ridiculous how quick this month has gone. Our February plans sort of disappeared along with February, so we're sort of scrambling to keep ahead of ourselves here. But we've got lots of really exciting plans for the show and the channels for next month, and we'll sort of restart ourselves after a slight misstep.
No, I think life get in the way a wee bit in February. So things happen, life happens, and when life happens, you kind of just have to deal with it. So we're moving into March with enthusiasm, with excitement of what we've got planned, some new shows, new different things to kind of share with the audience. So we're looking forward to that. And yes, you know, we've talked continually about should we do some kind of form of news bit, and we've kind of touched on bits at points before. You know, I think one of our big bits will be a bit more responsive to when live things happen. We'll kind of make sure we're up and with it. You know, when we were doing last year's show, it was really us trying to find a feat of how to host a show between us, and that kind of show worked in the terms of we didn't have to be responsive, but we were quite responsive to a lot of things that happened because actually we wanted to talk about it. And I think that's where we'll be this year round. But I think it's worthwhile having a kind of end of month chat about what's happened through the month, what news has kind of came up, what's exciting, what's maybe down the line. So this is a good way to kick us off.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's more than enough people on the YouTubes who react to things immediately and have initial thoughts. I think this way gives us a little bit of time to sort of step back, have a think about everything that's coming out, and get our thoughts together on it. So I think it's a really good idea, and I've just remembered something we wanted to talk about. So I'm going to kick off with the thing we wanted to talk about. Didn't we have like a fairly significant TF Nation announcement?
Well, no, the one I know you're talking about, but yes, we can let's talk about it because it's a new to this, but it's not been a February. It was actually January. I remember the date exactly. It was my Jamie's birthday, and I was telling him that was the most exciting news of the day. So what you're obviously alluding to is TF Nation tickets went up for sale this month. So that is a bit of news for this month. But the piece you're alluding to was that they have announced a few guests, and one of those guests being the fantastic Neil Kaplan, who is sponsored by none other than Primetime Toys. And we have chatted about doing some kind of proper time to focus on Neil, focus on TFN, and focus on Robots in Disguise. We'll use that as kind of one of our monthly themes as we lead up to TFN. But I suppose I'll let you in a little backstory, or let the audience in a little backstory. I think you know most of this in regards to how this came about and the incredible opportunity that has been presented to Primetime Toys and to me. So we have been a part of the event, the trading hall at TFN now. Our first venture into that world was their first Minicon Manchester. We signed up and we were like, we'll come. And we have always went with we want to present ourselves in a specific way. We want to showcase ourselves as a real trader, as a real one. You know, you're knocking heels with people like In Demand and Kapow, who are, you know, this is a part-time job. This is not a full-time job. This is a hobby more than anything else, I suppose, to an extent. So how do we kind of keep ourselves in that professionalism? And at the time, Greg and I were very much in that mindset. So we kind of set our stall out. We spent money on T-shirts, on branding, on our flags, and I think that went down really well with TFN. And the response we got was really positive, and it's just the relationship has continually grown from there. The TFN team do an amazing job and are always really responsive and really grateful for the effort and time we put in to try and kind of make sure that we want to put our best foot forward at TFN. It helps us, but it also can help them as well. And I think that was, I think they took that and the way it was meant when we did that in Manchester, that, you know, we'll show we can be, you know, a decent kind of spot for you. And since then, that, you know, they've every opportunity. We're trying to improve our stalls and try to improve our relationship. And earlier last year, Billy and I had a conversation about, you know, what more can Primetime Toys do to build the relationship, and what more could TFN do to build that relationship as well. And we started chatting about the idea of sponsorship. And Billy, just like, I don't know who any guests were. Billy asked me who I would like, chatted through some of the people I expected to be there, and I said that I think that's the kind of guest I would like to support. You all know the wonderful relationship I have with Simon Furman. We've got people like James Roberts, who we're bringing to TF UK Con. So there was people that I was like, I'd love to build relationships with these people. And then he said, I think we could do one better. I think we could give you a primetime guest. And I'm thinking, what is he talking about? And it was, of course, Neil Kaplan. So I am absolutely over the moon. Robots in Disguise is one of my absolute favourite pieces of Transformer collecting. I enjoyed the return to the robot modes. I really enjoyed the toys. I thought the toys were really clever, especially for their time. You know, when you look back at the stuff that we were getting at that point, the Card Brothers are incredibly articulated, wonderful toys, and probably spoiled, in my opinion, spoiled Transformers for me for a wee while, because when it went to the trilogy, I couldn't dig it, because I was like, what are these? Look at what we had in RID. Like, are you kidding me? We went backwards. Like, just didn't work for me. So, and you all have heard us talk about RID. For me, is a kind of was the first best of series for the show. You think about it brought us brand new amazing modes. It brought us some absolutely fantastic modes, toys from Beast Wars, from Beast Machines, G1, G2. You know, it repainted Fort Max. Like, it just was such a funky line. Like, it just is such a cool toy line. Neil Kaplan did an amazing job. He was the first Optimus Prime I ever met in person. He was one of my absolute favourites. So the opportunity to sponsor him was an incredible offer, and one we absolutely grabbed with both hands. So we have got lots of exciting stuff to come. We've been lots of chatting about it. Looking, as you can imagine, has designed a fantastic t-shirt, which, all being well, there will be a staff variant of it that will be worn at TFN Minicon Manchester, and that will be the kind of first reveal of it. And then look, and we'll have an option up to register your interest. I am pushing them to have it in options of getting stuff signed with that design and stuff on it, because there isn't that much RID Optimus Prime merch out there. You know, they really are kind of limited. I am very lucky that I have a boxed RID Prime that I will be getting signed. But other than that, you know, it's going to come. This is going to happen before Omega Prime, the HasLab drops. That's expected to drop September. TFN's August. So sadly, the timing is just bit poor for that, but what you're going to get signed in. So looking is working tirelessly away on a design that will be a collab between Primetime Toys and Looking's Tees. So all of us on the stall will be wearing that t-shirt. We're hoping to present a copy to Neil. If he decides to wear it, that's great. If he decides to wash his car with it, then who are we to judge? So no, there'll be loads of exciting stuff coming. I know, as I say, we're going to kind of spend probably July leading up to TFN. We will have a little bit of a TFN RID kind of focus month and do stuff, because it'll be incredibly exciting. I am over the moon. There's lots of other really exciting stuff that happened in that conversation with Billy that I am incredibly grateful again for the relationship with Billy and TFN, and I really look forward to growing that relationship going forward, and hopefully there'll be many more opportunities for Primetime Toys to support TFN, and TFN certainly support Primetime Toys. So that's not really, that was a kind of January news, but it's funny that we never talked about it. Like, it just, life got in the way. Everything was busy, and we were you were with me when I was confirmed by Billy that it was going to get announced. Like, we should have really recorded something more at the Transformers store. We didn't record anything together. No. And we spent 2 days talking about toys, and we still, so like, bit poor planning on our part. We should have just done a quick short on that reaction of, by the way, this is going up live the next 24 hours, but we're recording it. We should have done something, we didn't.
Hindsight. And also, we just got too caught up in what we were doing, and anyway.
And I think there is something for that, to be fair, actually. Like, I was talking about this with my dad yesterday. We were at the Glasgow Train Fair, and there's all these people taking lots of pictures, and I said to my dad, I don't really take a lot of pictures anymore, because I never go back and look at pictures. They just go into a folder and I never look at them. You know, don't tell my wife, I've never looked at my wedding pictures since I got married. Like, so, and the nicest way, there's lots of pictures that I've probably taken that I'll never ever look at again. So I try to live in the moment a lot more, which is good, but in a negative of, you then kind of miss the opportunities. And we've done so many things together, and we're like, we should have recorded something, we should have done something, and we are not the most. It shows that spending time together and enjoying the quality of time is a bit more of a focus than creating YouTube content. Sorry to our subscribers, and we will. I think we will get better at that, and we'll learn and leverage opportunities. But no, that was a great wee week, kind of few days, and a great bit of news to kind of end on, and it does excite me. And you know, talking about TFN stuff, TFN Minicon Manchester's just round the corner. I'm looking forward to that. I have a bigger stall than I've had before. I've got special people helping me on the stall that I haven't announced yet, and I will let that person announce. I have kindly brought in, but having had a bigger stall, I thought it was good to bring the family together. So Looking Teas will be a part of the prime time stall. We have a good working connection, so I thought it was a good opportunity to bring him in amongst the fold. So it'll be a slightly different styled stall this year than it's been in previous years, but we'll have an exceptional range of toys, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody and trying out the third Minicon Manchester and the third venue. Please, Billy, get venue again 2 years in a row, just so it makes sense. I think they feel the same, by the way. It's not as if just me. So no, I'm looking forward to that. So that's March's bit to look forward to.
Yeah, I think as far as doing content when we're actually in the same place, we've said this every single TFN and every single TF UK con and every single TFN Minicon. Oh yeah, we'll record something. Oh, we'll do something in the morning or whatever. And yeah, we've never actually managed it, to be fair.
We were putting stuff up on the. We were a wee bit better at TFN because we put stuff up on the Friday night. Like literally, I was going to bed. I text you, went, we were meant to release something. Can we go and do that now? Bit mad, but it wouldn't be us if it wasn't a bit mad. But let's just quickly can I just then share the other guests for TFN August. So Neil Kaplan obviously is going to be there. You have the previously announced Evan Michael Lee, who was the voice of Jazz in TF1. So he was announced at TFN Reading. The other two guests that have recently been announced is Scott McNeil, which I am super pumped for. Have I went out and bought stuff since his announcement to make sure I get signed? Yes, I have. He is the voice of Beast Wars, Rat Trap, and Dinobot, and many others. But that's the two that I'm most excited about. Like, two of my absolute all-time favourite characters. So Scott is one I am incredibly excited for, even if he looks like Shawn Michaels from Wish. And a really cool news, they have brought their first live action. I think it's the first. I'm sure it's the first.
Well,
is it?
Because they had Mark Ryan, who did the voice of. Oh, that was a voice actor. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so the first proper actor. So they've brought in Sophia Myles, who was in one of those two of the kind of lesser known movies. She's also in Thunderbirds, but I just think that's a really cool move that they've started to kind of lean into that side of it rather than just being voice actors. It just shows how much they've grown, continually growing. The last year was even bigger than previous years, so really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. There'll be piles more guests announced between now and then, but if you've not bought your tickets for TFN August, make sure you jump on it, and their hotel rooms go up for sale in March.
Awesome. Right. Okay. That's enough on TFN and all that sort of stuff. Let us go on to the stuff that has been released, or at the very least, put on pre-order for this month in the official kind of stakes. So just going to go over the things that have been either officially announced or officially put up for pre-order. Pretty much anything that's gone on to Hasbro Pulse in the last week. Other retailers are available, and generally would push you towards them. But yeah, so the first really big thing to talk about is the HasLab. Liokaiser was unveiled right at the start of the month, or was it the end of January? And yeah, he's stonking. I've always been keen on a Liokaiser. My best mate had a drill horn when we were kids, which I've spoken about on other episodes a few times. So seeing the catalogue that came with him and the other Breast Force figures and Liokaiser all combined, like back in the 80s, was amazing. Something I would never get hold of. And then I kind of forgot he existed for a few years until I sort of saw some of the Japanese cartoons. And then the first sort of version of him that we had over here was the one from, was it Power of the Primes?
The Prime Awards, was that?
It's one of that trilogy.
That era. Yeah, that era.
Yeah. And that was a really fun sort of basically repaint of other models, other figures stuck together. But this is the first time we've had a proper official release of him in the West that is all new molds, all new lovely everything, and the things that they can only really do with the HasLab. And yeah, apparently, do you think it was the fastest to fund?
Yeah. Which everyone seems to be getting faster and faster, because Omega Prime was the fastest at that point, last year, and then now this is eclipsed that. And there is something to be said. The first reactions were, "Oh my gosh, it's £300, blah 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 blah. This won't fund. Oh wait a minute, hold on, no, actually it does." And I think there is. I can see the cost challenges. I can see why people feel that way with it, but it is something a bit cool, a bit special. I wasn't convinced on for at the beginning, and then I made the decision that actually I'm going to back this because I kind of want to do the journey as well. Like, I'm really, really looking forward to it. I own all the HasLabs, but I never backed any of them up until Omega Prime. So I missed out on all the excitement of the things. The week everybody's getting them, and that really. So I think, worst case scenario, I get to it and I go, I'm not fussed. I'll sell it on. But I want to be involved in the journey, and I do believe that there's value in getting involved in these kind of things when you can afford it. And I'm very privileged to be in a position where I can afford it. So I have jumped on it, and I will patiently wait till I am assuming I was just trying to read there to see, because I know when they announced, everybody was stressing out with the dates. Yeah, so the orders estimated to be delivered no later than September 2026. So I know that there's people saying that had been a delay with Omega Prime, that it was now September 26th, and it was always September 25. It was always September, because I remember when back in it, I said to the wife, I'll have a lovely present for your 40th birthday. I mean, it's not a present for you, it'll be a present for me. And we had a bit of a laugh at it. So, it's a bit of a time between the two, and I get people's frustration of putting up 300 quid and then just forgetting about it for that period of time. I do, 100% absolutely do. But it's some people feel that way with Titans. Yeah. If I'm honest, some people have that problem with Commander class. So everybody has different levels of what they can afford and what they can fund. Chris, we were just talking before this about the 4-foot Metroplex. That's a toy that not everybody can afford. The Robosons, that's a toy that everybody can afford. Not everybody needs to be able to afford these things. And I can't afford a Ferrari. Would I like it? Ferrari's a bad choice. I wouldn't want a Ferrari. I think a Lamborghini. A Lamborghini's
I'm surprised that you want a Lamborghini.
So I can't afford one, but if I could afford one, would I get one? Yeah. And everybody's got different levels, so I think it'll be a chat interesting. But what about you? This one, you're not. It's not a Prime, so I'm assuming you're not backing it.
I'm not, and it's not because I don't think it's any good. It's because I don't have the capacity to have this collection as it is and all the other various things I collect and get things sort of off the cuff off the cuff that costs £300. And I can understand why people think, oh my god, that's only like 6 deluxe figures. Why is it £300 or whatever it is? But I don't see it like that. I mean, Commander class is getting more expensive, and the Titan class are getting more expensive. It's not massively different from those, and generally speaking, you've got that up a notch in terms of the quality.
Yeah. It's going to get the 13,000 sorry needed to get Death Cobra, so it's going to go to the kind of the extra figure. So that kind of brings the price per figure down a bit. The only thing that surprised me was I really like what it did when you're saying about the price of Titans. You know, people were saying Titans have come down in price. Titans have come down in price because the Titan size is different. You know, it's the toy size is different. Your Star Convoy Optimus Prime is not the same size as your previous Titans. It's a Titan class, but it's not that price point. So there was an aspect to me. I thought the rumor that I read was a RID Megatron, and I thought that'd be quite clever because you could bring the size class back, the price point and class size down a bit again to mirror it. You know, it would have made sense if they'd done that because the previous two had been a good guy and a bad guy. I could have understood that, but and I think that's probably why at first I was like, I'm not sure about this, because I was hoping for that. I like RID Megatron is one of my favourite versions of Megatron. The toy itself is fantastic. How does that get released? Because surely that has to be on the table. I'm hoping.
I reckon, just a thought, RID 2001 is 25 years next year. So, okay, yeah, we've got the 40th anniversary of the movie. But what could they bring out as a HasLab for the movie? Unless they do something completely...
Brave Max. Repaint a type for Max. For the movie. Oh, sorry. Sorry,
you're getting too excited. Too excited.
5 years. And I think that's a chat. We're in a point where they're just bringing new versions of stuff out. Right? That's entirely what we get excited about. We don't really get excited about the new toys of new characters. Let's be honest. Like that's, you know, there's nobody. None of us are sitting chatting about the. I couldn't even tell you what the new characters were from Earthspark, if I'm honest. Like,
no.
If I sat and paused and thought about it, I probably would, but I don't have the same affiliation. You know, this is not a new character that we're getting a toy of that we're excited about. Anything that comes out next year for the 40th anniversary movie is going to be the same. It's going to be older stuff, but there's some stuff that's never had an update, and I think that's what I like about that ID line, because none of that really has had an update. Skybite is the only one that had a thrilling 30. I can't think RID wise. Sideburn has he only had the one update? So anyway, so 25th anniversary might be the way to do it. That'd be a good point. It would be sad if all we got was Omega Prime and Sideburn. I would be a bit disappointed, if I'm honest. I know we're getting Skybite, sorry, because that's Skybite's in part of the stuff that went up this month. So Skybite's good, but the Skybite toy we already have a brilliant toy anyway. So it's not as if it was like we really need one of these. We could be doing with I suppose that's the issue as well. Like the RID Megatron toy itself originally was great, so just reissue all the toys I want.
all three versions of Skybite are pretty awesome. The original one, the Cyber Shark repaint, is just a really, really great toy, and then the Thrilling 30s one was again just awesome, and this new one just looks just as good, which is almost a shame, because it's not a figure that we've been crying out for a new version of, because the other versions have always been a really, really decent figure. But yeah, it would be interesting to see what they come out with next year. But yes, Liokaiser is funded and stretch goals are on the way, and I'm happy about that. The more these happen, the more they'll do, and the more weird characters get funded, the more chance that we'll get more weird characters, and that is phenomenal. I'm so pleased with what's been going on so far.
No, I agree.
It's really good. Right, couple of other things. So Hasbro have been going through and reissuing some of the harder to get figures from recent years. We had Jetfire a little while back from Power of the Combiner Wars. getting all my Siege. I'm getting all my trilogies confused. So now we've got from the same era, we've got the Alpha Strike and the Phantom Strike sets. Now, 50-50 on this. Alpha Strike at the time was a set I really liked, but as I recall, it's shelf-worn to death and went on sale all the time.
Yeah, I was trying to make sure I was going to get the name. So Alpha Strike's the one with G2 Sideswipe. Yeah. So I bought it twice because the second set was so cheap. I thought I've got a second set to have one and robot because I love G2 Sideswipe. So I thought, but yeah, and it's still on clearance in places. That's the crazy bit. That this is what are you doing? Like, get the other one. The other one.
Oh, the other
one. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Phantom Strike is the set with the only way you could get Siege Cybertron Skywarp with a couple of little mini dudes. Awesome set. Sold out everywhere, and then has been really difficult to get hold of. I sold mine when I was selling all my bits and bobs. I sold a loose one for a really nice profit, I feel. He did go quite sky high in price at one point. I don't know whether it stayed that way, but yeah, this one makes sense. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
Strike, not even a little bit.
No, and I don't. But I wonder, right? So we see it always clearancing because our retailers are clearancing it. That doesn't mean Hasbro clearance. That meant that Hasbro have sold out of that for a long period of time. So they're probably thinking, well, if we're going to do one, we may as well do both. And actually, I'd be curious to see how, because I've not been offered these, so I don't know if they're. No. You have to buy both. Like sometimes Hasbro, or sometimes companies, I'm looking at Hasbro, some companies have done that before where it's like if you want the hard one, you need to get both. So it could be that, and it could be then an even stinkier position to be in with that.
Yeah,
shelf form. I don't know.
It's entirely possible that because of the way these things are produced, that they couldn't produce one without the other. Maybe the way they print the boxes are connected or something. Yeah. It could be something as absolutely daft as that. Stuff that we're not aware of. But anyway. Right, other things that have been released and put onto pre-order that are fun and exciting include the Hearts of Steel subline for the Generations. What is it? It's Selects. Is it Selects?
I think it's Selects, yeah.
Yeah.
So the one's got. I'm sure one's a Selects figure, and then one's is it SDCC? It's got, so one of them's a maybe Pulse Coin. Anyway, possibly, yeah. One's. I'm just trying to get the pictures up just now because it tells you on that. So the Prime and Starscream set is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive.
Yeah.
And then let's see where the Megatron. Has he got a wee banner? Oh, they have a wee card on the front of the Megatron and Bumblebee set.
Okay.
I don't know, but I'm sure. Oh no, maybe they do. They have it on another page. But it's a Hasbro Pulse exclusive as well. But doesn't. I can't tell the pictures when it's coming.
Don't know.
It's pre-orders coming soon. There you go, fall 2025. I know we'd heard rumours of them. I have the third-party Prime and Bumblebee ones before. I've also got the Starscream bit from before. Was that MMC that did them? Is that right?
Honestly,
I don't think MMC did the Bumblebee. I'll be honest with you. I think it was MMC did the Prime. So they did the Shockwave. The Shockwave was gorgeous. The submarine one. Sure it was MMC. Sure it's MMC. I could be wrong. It's not. Yeah, I'm sure it's MMC.
Night Morpher was the name of the Prime, but I can't remember what company it was. But yeah.
So I've bought these. I've ordered these. I'm all over these. I think these are fabulous. I love that comic line. Like I just think it's a really good time. And I think that's you're talking about the kind of stuff that's coming out. You know, we're just talking about the aspect of new thing coming out. This isn't really new designs, but it's new toys on older stuff, and I like that. I'm right in for them doing that. There's some really cool stuff. I always think when we talk about the G.I. Joe crossovers, I think some of those G.I. Joe comic designs were really nice. I'd love to do toys with them. I don't think it'll ever happen. I didn't see these Hearts of Steel coming Like, I know other than the rumours, like when they first got rumoured, obviously, then I would never have put money on these being sets that they would do. So I'm all in for it. I look forward to getting both sets in because they're just cool.
Yeah, no, I really like them. My only issue with with them is that Prime's robot mode looks amazing. His train mode looks really small, and because of the colours that you need to have him to be Prime, he just looks like a Thomas the Tank Engine.
It does. It does. The Night Morpher one was a bit longer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Transformed, yeah.
But Starscream looks awesome. But hey, I'm not going to quibble too much, and I will definitely be getting one.
And I have to say, look, I've got the third party Bumblebee, and I've got I've got 2 copies of it because I just thought it was so nice. And it went on when it got reissued. I thought I'm going to buy a second copy, and I bought the Thomas the Tank Engine repaint, the actual repaint, because in my head the way he looks and robot body looks like it looks like Gears, and I just thought there's enough in it for me to want it, and I thought it was kind of fun. So I do have to say I think the Bumblebee is maybe my favourite of the 4, and I don't really say that about Bumblebees. I like the Starscream as well, mind you. I think the Optimus and the Megatron are a little weak, but I'm still very happy with them being a reveal and something different. And that was like because that was at the same when that was all announced. Was it MegaCon? I'm just remember the name. Yeah, so MegaCon 2025. So they had that announcement, and at the same time as they announced the Liokaiser. So that's a decent kind of re-reveal, and we know there's obviously leaks beforehand to these things coming out, but I think that was a good set of stuff to showcase. And that was also where they showed off the Age of Prime Skybite, and the figure that I know you and I are so excited about, Age of Prime Heatwave.
I mean, I cannot wait for that figure. He's got such a place in my heart. It's just an amazing.
You're actually changing your Optimus Prime collection into the Heatwave.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Heatwave. It'll be a bit smaller, I think. Maybe 5. I mean, he's red and turns into a truck. I mean, yeah, no. Still, it's good that it exists and that it'll be something that some people will really like, and that is really what collecting is all about. As we said earlier, everything doesn't have to be for everyone, and when I realised that and stopped buying the entirety of every single range, it made me a happier person. Speaking of things I probably won't buy, even though it's an Optimus Prime, Monster Hunter's Silver Rathalos. It's Monster Hunter's figure. I don't know anything about Monster Hunters. I mean,
Monster Hunter. It's a decent game. I usually play. I've played a couple of versions of the game. It's got a big popular following. I think this will be a popular toy. I think this will do really well. And I was more excited by that than I was by the Naruto one, or even by the Sonic one. I just thought it actually looks kind of funky. Like it looks kind of. I think it's a dragon.
Yeah, I think because it is a dragon-y kind of thing, and it's based on a computer game, but it's not based on a cartoony computer game. It makes a lot of difference in terms of the toy. The toy's got a bit more of a realistic look, and yeah, the robot mode is cool. The dragon mode is cool. It is an Optimus Prime, but it's the second one, isn't it? And they're both Optimus Prime, and they're both very similar to each other. I'll probably end up getting them, let's face it, but
I like the colours on it. I like the scales on it. It's kind of nice. And that beast in the game has multiple recolours. Just signposting that, Simon, for if you need to buy, if you start with the recolours of it. If they continue doing them, there could be a fair few.
Well, thanks for that.
Thanks, Hasbro.
I mean, it is very much a Hasbro thing. It does look pretty cool, doesn't it? Okay, fine, I'll buy it. Right, moving on. We've got one other thing that I've mentioned, or I'm mentioning. I'm going to mention now. And that's another thing that I'm going to have to buy. So I stopped collecting Nemesis Primes because Nemesis Prime was taking up a lot of shelf space and a lot of money, because it was a time when just Nemesis Primes just were coming out of the woodwork. However, Nemesis Prime is not the same as Nucleon Quest Super Convoy, because that, despite being black, is an Optimus Prime. So therefore, Takara Tomy Transformers MPG 16 Nucleon Quest Super Convoy is something I need to buy. We've gone over MPG and how much we love MPG 09 a fair amount in the last last month when we were doing some stuff on God Ginrai and Jinrai.
Yeah.
Jinrai. And Power Master Optimus Prime. And this is one that, again, we need to get. Annoyingly. But it does look gorgeous. And a black reprint does always look gorgeous.
Yes, it does. And it gives you a justifiable reason, which is good. But the other interesting bit is this. It's got an official... I have an official offer of this through my proper UK distributor. So I will be interested to see where this appears. Like the other MPGs that I've had to get from my contact overseas, I've never been offered Masterpiece through this. So I was shocked to see that. I have no idea what that means going forward, but it was a positive. I mean, from a business point of view.
Yeah, to be honest, I was surprised to see it on Hasbro Pulse. They've done some of the Takara Tomy stuff has appeared on the US site, but very rarely on the UK site.
Yeah.
So it was a nice surprise, a pleasant surprise. And unfortunately, it's like £280 worth of pleasant surprise. I mean, you talk about paying so much for a HasLab. This is just a general release. Ho hum. Right, well, that's the. We've missed stuff. There'll be things you'll be going, oh, what about this? Not that that's necessarily your voice, but if it is your voice, fine. Yes, we will have missed things, but these are the things that really stuck out to us that we wanted to talk about. And we're going to move on to a couple of licensed products that came out or have been announced this month, and one that came out a little while ago, but I'm just going to mention it because it's cropped up a few times recently in our conversations. But for the licensed stuff, so this is anything that is official, but isn't made necessarily by Hasbro or Takara, which is a really good place to chuck in any conversation about Blokees. Now, unless you've been hiding under a rock or don't really pay any attention to anything that comes out on YouTube and going to the shops or anything else, Blokees have been a massive thing in the Transformers fandom in the last few months. Some people on Transformers the Show, for example, have become somewhat obsessed. That's not a bad thing because they are exceptionally fun. I have become somewhat obsessed in that I have nearly all of the variations of Optimus Prime. I just picked up the Golden Lagoon version from 2024, last year's special edition ones, at a fairly vast expense, and instantly broke it when putting it together, but that's fine. And I also managed to get this dude, which we've possibly spoken about before. This is the Galaxy.
We have, because I've got him.
Yeah, exactly. Galaxy Defender Series 1, 100% firepower Optimus Prime. This cost me £25 off of AliExpress, which I actually do not care about paying that much for, because the only other way I was going to get it was keep buying boxes and opening figures. And I've already got a full set.
Only an idiot would do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yes, I now have all the variants of that particular Optimus Prime, and I'm very pleased by the announcement of Series 2 of Galaxy Defender, because even though I will very likely get a box of it, because I just absolutely love those figures. They're so nice. They are so fun. It's so fun just opening the boxes and then putting them together. I did a whole series of videos of unboxing and making those little dudes. They're absolutely fantastic. But yes, as Moff says, no Optimus Primes this time, so I can get away with not getting them at all if I so wished, and definitely no chase ones. So one box and I'm happy.
They're so cheap. They're so fun. They also showed the upper half of Devastator. You know, that was the cool bit. Remember at Reading and we had the privilege at TFN to be right beside Blokees, and the excitement around Blokees at that point. The excitement at TFN Reading when they had brought them in early, and people were going, "Oh look, there's the option to this. This clearly has got the ability of the to become Devastator," which all the photographers were told, "Please don't show that. Please let that bit a reveal." And I thought that was really good that they did kind of stick to that, and it was we were there when people were having that realization. So yeah, so we are going to be able to create a Blokees version of Devastator, which I think will be really fun. I'm happy because we get the first version of Soundwave. We better get a bloody proper Soundwave, because the gold one's cool, but I want a real Soundwave. Like, I want real Soundwave. And I don't feel the urge that I'm like you. I don't think I need the chases. I think I wanted the chase in that last box just because you didn't have it. I think that helped me push through.
I mean, let's be honest.
And the Jamie got
Jamie getting it was the real upset for both of us, and probably fueled your need to get one for yourself.
I said for that probably more so. So yeah, I think that's good. I think it's.
Have you got the listing in there, or?
I do, yeah. So we've got in robot form, we've got Bumblebee, Wheeljack, Ironhide, which is a Shattered Glass version, which is it says Shattered Glass, but it's also the Diathlon version, I'm sure. And then you've got Golden Lagoon, Soundwave, Starscream, Inferno, Bone Crusher, and White Ultra Magnus, the Optimus Prime redeco. Vehicle mode, you've got Inferno, Bone Crusher, Bumblebee, and Hook. So the Bumblebee had a kind of clear version in Wave 1, so this is a kind of proper version of them. And then your chase figures are a metallic Starscream, a Shattered Glass Bumblebee, an armoured Coronation Starscream, and an armoured Bumblebee. The Shattered Glass Bumblebee looks like Bugbite.
It does very much look like Bugbite.
Yeah. So no, again, it's a good. But they are small and fun. My only reservations, I was chatting about this recently with somebody, at some point the bubble will burst with Blokees. Like, it bursts with everything. And the nicest way, there's no third party, official or unofficial, licensed or unlicensed product that has stood this test of time as well as Hasbro stuff. You know, when Creos first came around, people went crazy for them. Some of the Creo sets went for crazy money, and then they didn't. They just gone. BotBots, when BotBots first arrived on the scene, people went mental for them, and then they didn't. And I'm curious. They are now producing 4 different classes, and that's a lot. Like, it's a lot of. It becomes a lot of real estate. I love them. I have to say, I do think they're brilliant to have. It'll be great to get. I don't know, first 3 years worth of characters in that scale. I think that'd be really cool. But I can't see them completing everything, because I don't think that's possible. There's just so much, and I just worry that at some point people will hit that point of, these were good, but they are just little posable figures. And in the terms of real estate, when you're then going, right, okay, I've got the next HasLab and I've got the next Titan to come in, and I need to try and reduce space, I think that's at the point where people will start to go, oh, actually, I'll lose. It's the non-transforming stuff that, from my collection as well, so non-transforming stuff that comes off my shelves quicker than my actual Transformers do. So I have that worry, but I am along for the ride. You know, I'll be stocking these. I am absolutely along for the ride, but with the curiosity of what line of the 4 is going to continue to be a strong seller, and what's going to drop off. I think the classic cats are really nice. I think they're the weakest of the sellers, if I'm honest. I think they're the ones that will drop first because they're at a bit higher price point. The Galaxy and the Galaxy Defenders, I think those are the ones that are at a good price point that people are kind of happy to kind of multi-pick them up. The bigger ones have only done Optimus Megatron. That's not a fair judgment, because that's your 2 big characters. It's, can they do more? Will they do more? So we'll see. But yeah, man, Gold Soundwave, I'm going to always be buying it anyway, aren't I?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a thing like Hasbro with them, in that they're doing the whole sort of repaint, pre-paint kind of thing. So you've got characters that came out in the first wave that were really odd colours. So you had like a clear Bumblebee, you had a clear Ironhide. Obviously, they're going to do a a normal coloured version. So this new wave, we've got the Golden Lagoon Soundwave, etc., etc. So by the end of it, you're going to have so many different repaints of so many different characters, and it's going to get to the point where you're going to get to entire waves of figures that you're not interested in. But I'm assuming they thought about this. So for the simple fact of collecting all of the parts of Devastator, you're going to want to collect the next couple of ranges at least to be able to try and get the full Devastator. And I'm willing to put money on there being Stunticons or aerial bots or whatever in the next wave. So we'll see how it goes. It'd be quite good to do, I don't know, maybe like a series with like blind box baths. Do like Marvel Legends and have baths like they used to do with the old PVC figures. You could have
there's another example that at the time the PVC stuff was so popular, and then they're not that you could pick them up so easy now, like it's just great. So I think there's that enjoy the ride while it's here, but I expect at some point for that to falter away, and that's part of the collect, that's part of the hobby, that is part of what we're going to get. I would like to see them do the bigger scale, I think, combiner. Like as I say, I think Galaxy size is I think that's the perfect kind of size. I think they're a great price point. They're a great wee collectible, but they're really nice, really detailed. I think they're still really posable. Are they as posable as classic? No, but they're also a fraction of the price. I think that's the line that will continue to go, and you can pump out so much more. I would love to see them tackle a combiner in that. There's still so many. I'm looking at the shelf just now. I'm just like, look, still so many that they've got to do with them. You know, I like the idea that they did the Dinobots in both versions. If they're going to do alt modes of anything, the Dinobots were the perfect one to do that for, because their alt modes are articulated things rather than just a car or a truck or something. So it was a good bit. You know, for me, it's like, what do they do? Can they find a way to do the tapes for Soundwave? Don't know. So there's loads of opportunities for them still to do stuff, but they have done well to on that range not to focus on recolors. There's not many recolors in them really. Whereas in the Galaxy Defenders ones they have, but I think because they're so cheap that you're kind of okay with that. But as you say, you know, you've got two versions of Ironhide now, and you still don't have a normal colour. You know, that's an interesting kind of way to go. So we'll see what it goes. Don't know. I don't know what will be next, but it's enjoy the, as I say, enjoy the ride while it's going.
Oh, definitely.
We'll see where the block.
I think Blokees are actually quite sensible as well as a company, because they've gone after a bunch of other licenses and stuff, and there's some stuff that is coming out or has come out that's very much geared at a different audience to Transformers fans, or similar audience to Transformers fans, things like the Ultraman stuff, which is more an Asian market, and then they've got Marvel and Muppets and all sorts of other stuff that
Pokemon. Pokemon license. I know that people are going crazy for it. Like, my boy's mental about it, and I've had a couple of people asking me if I'm going to get it. And you know, we were speaking to Dan from Left Field Toys, who distribute Blokees in the UK, and they haven't got the UK license yet for Pokemon, but hopefully, all being well, they will. I'd say I'm all in on them. I think they're great. There will be a point where it's the same as anything. Like, it's these wee things like this, wee kind of gimmicky ones. They're the things that will go off your shelf quicker than your actual G1 toys, or even just your latest kind of Hasbro ones. So there'll be an interesting point where that happens. But let's enjoy the ride while it happens.
Exactly. One last thing on Blokees. There's been a bit of a debate, I suppose. They did a very, very, very nice limited edition pink Optimus Prime. When it got announced, I was like, I bet I won't be able to get one of those, but I'll try. And then you sent me the link to it on Show Z when it went up, and I clicked on it and I saw that it was like £90 or something, and I immediately went, okay, I like these and I like Optimus Primes a lot, but do I want to spend £90 on a toy that is exactly the same as another 3 figures I already have, but this one's pink, and the figures I already have, if we discount the ones that I paid a premium price for getting the one that I wanted, I've not paid any more than 30 quid for one. Do I want to pay 90 quid for this figure? Now, that said, by the time I'd ummed and ahed about it, it's sold out. It's come back into stock because I've got an alert on Show Z. It's come back into stock about 3 or 4 times since. Every time I've gone, ooh, I'll have a look. It's gone up in price. And then by the time I've clicked on it, it's sold out again. So, yeah. And now it's cropped up on AliExpress for the princely sum of somewhere over £150. And yet, I am still tempted to get one. I can't afford it at this point in time, so that's pretty much the barrier there. But it's just the FOMO. It's just the FOMO on this. I don't need it. I don't need a pink blocky Optimus Prime. And quite frankly, as you said, the bubble is going to burst on blockies. The price of that thing is either going to skyrocket because they won't be making them anymore and yada yada yada, or nobody's going to be interested anymore and it's going to drop like a stone. Either way, I can live without it, so I'm going to live without it for now.
Tune in next week to Simon revealing he's paid £180. No, I'm the same. I wouldn't even take the £90. I thought that was a ridiculous amount of money. But I do think the bubble will burst on Blockies at some point, and at that point, if it came down in price, I would probably buy it. But it was a bit unfair that it was literally an only in-person event you could pick up. I don't think that's right in this day and age for any exclusive to be like that. It was ridiculously low number exclusive. I tried to contact my contact to try and get them, and it was just like, nope, it's no go. It's not available anywhere else other than at Con. I was like, that's crazy, like, in this day and age. But in the opposite end, there is also an excitement that that's the only way you can get it, and that's a good thing. So anyway, let's move past pink blockies until you get it and review it. I
think last thing we were going to do is a quick bit on anything third party, which is the Roundup Moff.
Yeah, and I think the interesting bit is we've talked over a few things that are rare and expensive and hard to pick up this episode. We've talked about the Skywarp set getting a reissue. We've talked about the Prime, and that's the case for the kind of big thing that for me has come out of third party this month. It's only just recently happened, is that Fans Toys, out of the blue, genuinely out of the blue, the listing showed on Big Bad Toy Store before it went anywhere else, and within 24 hours other places, including, I'll tell you what it is in a second, but including Kapow Toys, who do not stock Fans Toys anymore, stocked a very small amount of this, and that is Perfect Effect Cesium. So it is their second take on Slag. Their first version was not the greatest, and a lot of people were unhappy about it. I think it was their second, so their first Dinobot they released, so it was very, very early on in their journey. So they did a beta version called Perfect Fusion, and it has been a figure that has been incredibly hard to get and incredibly expensive. So a very, 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 very limited release on this. Like, this is just the smallest number of toys this business, as in Primetime Toys, has ever been offered in an official release, and it will not be going on the website. It's such a small release that it's being kept back for special reasons. And then they're also re-releasing or doing again a very limited run of Jabba, which is another toy that again is very popular and very expensive. I was talking to Paddy about this, and I think the reissue of Jabba could well be the reissue start of reissues of stuff that will link in with Sovereign 2.0 in terms of kind of movie bots. So I'm hoping for Hoodlum to get a reissue. I'm actually also hoping for him to do a Optimus Prime, but we'll wait and see. There'll be TF cons and there'll be stuff to reveal these things, but 2 reissues, again, both in short bits, and the companies that have put them up on their sites have all sold out. of their offerings. They're so limited. I think Perfect Effects Season was a limited run originally. It was when I wasn't in the third party game really at that point, but certainly an interesting one to come out. My little bit of paranoia goes, this is their reissue, this is them, they've found it in a warehouse and look, we've got lots to we've got file these, let's sell them. Because it just seems such a small run that it seems too small. Like, this toy is incredibly popular, and I think there's not a lot of them out there, and I bet there'd be a lot of people who would buy these. If you're going to do a proper run, a proper reissue, you'd probably do a decent turn, because they do reissues of stuff all the time. So, but that was the excitement for a few days this week, as that announcement happened, and as I say, I got a very, 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 very small offering, and one of those will be going on my shelf as I don't have it. We took one in trade, and I couldn't even justify keeping it because it was that expensive. So, no, I'm personally glad of it. I know there are others who are feeling the same.
Okay, well, I'm not going to get one, but I don't think I'd be able to anyway, so that's fine. Save it for somebody who actually really wants one. Right, that is pretty much it for the news for the month of February. So that's given us a little bit of an opportunity to sort of reflect on things and have a little chat about what's coming, what's come out, and all of that. So we're probably going to do one of these every month, and we will also do some more immediate reactions to things as and when we feel the need, but not too much pressure on ourselves. If we
no, and I think it's the had Liokaiser being last year's Omega Prime. Had we the YouTube channel at the time, we would have properly done more, and I think we did talk about it at the time. But that the stuff that got announced this year, this bit did not massively excite either of us really. Like, there wasn't anything that had us hugely excited, but there will be stuff. There will be stuff coming that we will be incredibly excited about. I think we'll do reactions to like TF cons and the big Pulse events and stuff. We will do stuff like that. But no, it's been good to kind of just reflect back, and it was quite like, oh my gosh, was that actually February? Was this January? Who knows? It's been a quick year already.
Right, so that's going to wrap this up for this month's episode. We've got other bits and bobs coming out throughout the month. We've got our new Tech Specs show, which is going to be continuing monthly with a focus on a particular character or Transformers line, or perhaps something else. Wait and see. We also have another show which is Waiting in the Wings, which it's not called Waiting in the Wings. It's literally waiting for us to film it. Another show which we are tentatively titling Saturday Morning Cartoons, where we will do something about Saturday morning cartoons, but we're going to promote that and get that all sorted hopefully in the next week or so, and then get that up hopefully for a Saturday morning. But yeah, other things we'll reveal as and when we get to them. So hopefully you're sticking around, and hopefully you'll continue watching, and we will be making lots of lovely new content for you. So do drop a like and a subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye.